Yo, what's up, peoples? Mood 616 here. Yeah. So, I had an idea for a video. I was gonna do like the top 20, or my personal top 20, 25, Canadian hip hop albums, like essential hip hop albums, or maybe they're just recommendations. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. I'm not saying these are the best albums ever. I'm saying these are the ones maybe you might want to have in your collection. So I started to shoot this video, and I was like, this is gonna be way too fucking long, way too long. Even talking 1 minute about 25 albums is a 25-minute video. So, and that's quick, right? 1 minute for each thing. So I cut it off, and I decided to do this in parts. So basically what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to pick 5 Canadian albums at a time. Maybe I'll do this in 5 parts, maybe I'll do it in 6 parts. So maybe like 25, 30 albums or whatever. But it'll all be Canadian hip-hop oriented. Alright, so that's what I'm doing. So I randomly just picked 5 albums out that I think that are really dope albums. Wow, I just cannot do this properly here. I'll start with the one that's playing in the background right now. This is Backburner. The album's called Heatwave. This is released on Hand Solo Records. This is basically a huge super group of Canadian MCs. I'll name them off right here. It's just a really big group. There's a few producers in the group too. So we got Fresh Kills, Word Burglar, Timbuktu, More or Less, Uncle Fess, Ghetto Socks, Choculus, Jesse Dangerously, Jay Busy, Thea Syab, Beat Mason, Frank Deluxe, Dexter Doolittle. Fuck, I love that name. That lady's so funny. Cybo, Ambition, Johnny Hardcore, Man Alive, Ginsu 333, and Mr. E. There's a few producers in there. So it's a huge super group, and it's basically just all these MCs ripping over these beats. What you hear in the background is pretty much what you're getting on the album. Not a lot of fucking overdone choruses and stuff, just a lot of cuts for the hooks, which you can hear. All the production is done by the producers that were listed off in there. So it's all done by the group. This is one of the best Canadian albums I've heard in a long time, or one of my favorite Canadian albums I've heard in a long time. My boy Thomas over at Hand Solo Records sent me this for free. I looked up the video on YouTube one time. They have a video, actually a couple videos I think, and I just fell in love with it. I was just, wow, it's just raw. It's just strictly hip hop. It's just MCs thrown it right in your face, Content wise, it could be, it's a little bit of battle rapping. You got Word Burglar in there, so you got like a little bit of nerdcore in there and stuff too. But this album really works. It really works well. Just a well put together project, and it's top to bottom, 14 tracks of just bangers, man. This is a really fucking solid record. MCs are all good. I have no problems with any of the MCs in here. A few of these guys I've been down with for years. Like I've known the Ghetto Socks, Jay Busy. I've been down with Jay Busy for a long time, since the early 2000s. He's a guy that really should put out a new album, because Jay Busy is a really dope cat. He's been featured on some older classified stuff, and from Halifax and shit. Timbuktu's dope, More or Less is fucking amazing. But yeah, it's just a big fucking gumbo bowl of fucking fun, this record, man. Highly recommend. This is Backburner Heatwave. Check it out, people. It's fucking great album. And there's absolutely no order to this. I don't really like ranking, and with that said, probably laughing here now because I did a top 25 MC, top 25 groups. That was really hard for me to rank, so I'm not ranking any of these. These are just essential albums, in my opinion. If you don't agree with it, that's fine too. Next up, probably my favorite Maestro Fresh West album. Nah, This Kid Can't Be From Canada. Had to put this in on essential Canadian albums. It actually has Canada in the title. This album to this day still fucking blows me away. It's produced by Maestro Fresh West, except for a couple tracks were produced by Showbiz for DITC. Showbiz produced, I believe, Mic Mechanism, and he was also on Fine Tune the Mic. He was actually in that song. But, you know, this is just a fucking great slice of Canadian history right here, man, because Maestro fucking rips this album, man. You know, it's got classic songs like Search Without the Redson, Fine Tune the Mic is fucking amazing, you know, but this is just a fucking, it's just an in-your-face hardcore record. It's just lyricism at its best, you know. Maestro always came with it back in the day. It's got that 93 sound. It's just a fucking fantastic record. Not really a whole lot to say about this one, you know. It's, like I said, it's all produced by Maestro except for those two tracks produced by Showbiz. You got Pray to the East with featuring Percy P, which is such a fucking cool thing, man. Like, Percy P's been around for, you know, since the early 90s. Dude's only ever dropped one album, which was all produced by Madlib. Fantastic record. But he's got tons and tons of fucking material, and it's such a cool thing because Percy P is one of the most underrated MCs of all fucking time, in my opinion. But it's cool to see somebody like Percy P and Maestro doing a song together. Just shows that Maestro had that type of talent that where these guys wanted to work with him and shit. Like Showbiz, that's sick. Now This Kid Can't Be From Canada. Definitely check that shit out right there. It's a fucking classic Canadian album, man. Next up, Danio, Dear Hip Hop. This is an official copy. It's just in a slimline. This is actually the re-release of this. I actually used to have the original release of this, which was released on Planet Rock. I think it came out in, I want to say 97, I believe is. Yeah, I think 97 the album, or 96, 97. I know Dear Hip Hop was featured on the Beat Factory Essential Volume 1 compilation, and that came out in 96, 97. Anyways, I went to see these guys actually on that tour back in the day. But yeah, Danio brings that, just that raw hip hop, man. This has that, you know, kind of, it's just that mid-90s sound to it, kind of boom bappy. You know, Danio is a cat that's still putting in work today. Very underrated. You never hear his name ever get brought up in Canadian, you know, dope Canadian MCs and shit like that. I don't know why. He's very underrated. He's put out a lot of material, and I've got like 5 or 6 albums by him and a couple mixtapes. But this one always really stuck in my mind. It's just classic Dear Hip Hop, which, you know, check out that song. I'm sure you can find it here on YouTube. Dear Hip Hop, the second letter is fucking amazing, man. You know, you got fucking Nish Rocks on here, which is part of the group that they formed together called Monolith. Monolith is a fucking, it was super sick, man. I wish they would do more stuff, but yeah. Danio, Dear Hip Hop, definitely check that shit out right there. Awesome fucking record. Here is an album that I got introduced to probably, I want to say about a year after it came out. This came out in 2007. It's a group called The Representatives. It consists of a producer and an MC. Touch and NATO. Touch is the MC, NATO is the producer. These cats are out of Edmonton, Alberta, I believe. I'm pretty fucking sure it's Edmonton. Yeah, I think it's Edmonton. It even has Cadence Weapon on here, which is out of Edmonton too, which he's out of Montreal now. He's rapping out of Montreal. But this was a record that I had no idea what to expect. The album's called In Intelligent Design. I didn't know what to expect from it. Had no idea. It was basically just one of those things. Someone told me about it, so I checked it out. Like, check out this dope Canadian group. I'm like, okay. Always looking for Canadian content for the show. So I checked it out, and I was just fucking blown away. It didn't sound like anything Canadian like I'd ever heard before, and you know, and I find out these guys are from Alberta, and I'm just like, fuck. I thought for sure these guys are more on the East Coast, but the sound is very dark and dark, but not at the same time. It's kind of hard to explain. This is one of those records you kind of have to hear for yourself. It's very hip hop oriented, and it's got some interesting lyrics on it. It's got a bunch of features on it too. Not a bunch, but it does have some. It's got Wordsworth on here, which is fucking insane that they got Wordsworth on this record. Like I said, Cadence Weapon is on here. They got Mindbender, who's also Canadian MC, and a few cats I don't know, like the Inglewood Junkyard Dog, Chris Plus, Stray, Chasm, and Nomad, which I do know. They have a song on here called Adult Story, and it's basically like kind of a homage to like, you know, Slick Rick's fucking, you know, children's story. Just, this is the explicit version of it. Very, very fucking dope record. I highly recommend the Representatives. Everybody knows I'm a big fan of one MC, one fucking producer albums, man. This is right up there. One of the better Canadian albums I've ever heard. And it's just, it doesn't sound Canadian. That's the weirdest thing about it. Like, it just doesn't have any of that type of, it's hard to explain. You gotta really hear that one. Next up, another Canadian MC, and this is pretty much on the same lines as the Representatives for sound-wise. I mean, not the technical sound, but I meant this album doesn't, you would never know this was Canadian at all. And I'm talking about Rugged Intellect. This is a fucking, dude, this guy fucking rips it, man. He's kind of like he rhymes like Big Pun and like R.A. the Rugged Man kind of thing like that. That's his style. His delivery is very smooth and fast and just ripping multiples. And the production wise, it hits hard. It's kind of boom bappy. It's not like Gladiator tunes or nothing, but it hits hard, and it's just an aggressive record. I mean, his voice is aggressive, but the way he presents his lyrics, the way he's spitting, you know, syllables and shit is just fucking ridiculous, man. Features on this record. This is another reason why you would never believe this is Canadian. It has Rock from Hell to Skeleton on here, R.A. the Rugged Man, Cool G Rap, Ross Cos, AG, of course, from DITC, and the very last track, which is a remake of Say Goodbye, which the original song on here is fucking disgustingly sick. It's got Party Artie, which, rest in peace, Sean Price, Rusty Chucks, and Solomon Childs. I don't know where this cat came from, but this album fucking rips and bangs. It's just out of this world, man. When people say Canadian hip-hop sucks, I don't know what the fuck they're talking about, man, because this shit is coming out of Canada and it's fucking banging. Writer's Block is just ridiculous. It's just one of those songs about having writer's block and just fucking tearing lyrics apart, man. What is it? What it is? Very first track on here, fucking sick, man. It's so sick. R.A. the Rugged Man rips his fucking verse, of course. Features are all good on here. But yeah, this album's called Renaissance Music. The introduction, I really wish that he would drop another album soon because, well, fuck, man. I think this is one of the better albums of 2007 this came out in. This one still gets tons of play for me, man. I absolutely love it. So yeah, so there's, you know, 5 Canadian albums that I highly recommend. I'll go through them again. Rugged Intellect, Renaissance Music, the introduction. The Representatives, Intelligent Design, definitely check that one out, coming out in Alberta. Danio, of course, from Toronto, Dear Hip Hop. Maestro, Fresh West, the Canadian Wayne Gretzky of hip hop. Nah, this kid can't be from Canada. I agree with that title. It's fucking dope. And Backburner with Heatwave, the super group that was put out on Han Solo Records. Fucking check it out, dope. So yeah, so there's the first 5, and I think I might do this in 6 parts. I think I might do 30 albums. So yeah, so it'll probably be part 1 of 6. Cool? Nice. Need a break. Ooh, I feel like I've been talking a lot today. Thanks for watching, guys. Moon616 signing out. Peace.